So to me, I could say my my introduction to the reality of ecstasy and uh, the power of orgasm that is beyond the cultural orgasm was pretty tough. It was a kind of a spiritual, totally unexpected heart opening that really scared me. I was really like, okay, this energy opening up in me, this can kill me. It's so strong that it wouldn't even notice that it killed me on the way. I was really, it was a kind of sudden Kundalini outburst in my heart or whatever. It happened with something like, I think in my teenager years, totally unexpected, totally in a non-sexual situation. And from there, I knew, okay, there are powers in humans we have no idea. And we can be happy if they leave us alive, because they're like, oops, and the whole nervous system is burned just by, it's just, you just, oops. So I was very shocked. I had an intuitive respect of those forces. And I then in sex met different remembrances or different aspects that reminded me of that, but had more of a titrated way towards. It was more like sex can be a tool, sex can be a bridge, instead of you are just sleepwalking through your life, and then Kundalini hits you and you are happy that you survived, then you're sleepwalking again. It was like, wow, sex can lead me the way. On sex, I can travel back and forth. And that was one thing that I intuitively got. Okay, sex is something, if people get what sex is about, the world looks differently. And I was fumbling around myself, but I was always suffering from a hypersensitivity. And in sex, of course, that is an advantage, because in sex, it's like, wow, you can do less and there is happening more. You can do less and there is happening more. You can do less and there is happening even more. So it was like sex was a framework or setting for me where I realized, wow, it's truly never about putting something good into a human. It's truly always how do I have to create an outer setting for you in a way that you can't resist but unfolding what is inside. It's always like this inner world is like opening again and shining. That is like, I met this inner design or this inner instinct or this inner shimmering remembrance, this potential sleeping, waiting for the kiss in sex. So I was thrilled by finding that. At the same time, of course, then having sex with many people who were as traumatized as I have been, in a way of, we have no idea how to get there. And then going into a lot of sexual drama, I do not want to promote sex work, because I think that's not good for hypersensitive beings like human beings in most cases. However, I learned a lot about the charge, how people are trying to get their essence and their ecstasy back through sex. And even though that's also cultural conditioning, because it's like, buy me, I'm sexy. So that's capitalistic, it's conditioning. On the other side, people are right. If we hack the code of sex, if we allow sex to set us free, if we allow sex and pleasure to heal us, we heal everything at the same time. It's interesting that it's a little bit like there is this hardcore healing of going into the fear and going into the anger and going into the pain. And then there is this love and light, neo-tantra wellness healing of pleasure and orgasmicness. And I disagree. Pleasure is a super brutal, hardcore healing tool. If you dive really into your pleasure, it destroys your small personality faster than any trauma. It's like suffering is something how people move and people learn and people heal because they can't stand their suffering anymore. Yes, but suffering is plan B. Plan A, the master discipline, is destroy everything that can be suffering in you by diving into pleasure. Pleasure is like, suffering is like, go, 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 go. And you are like, whoa, 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 okay, okay. And pleasure is like, it just eats you up from inside. It's you destroying yourself. So in that way, I'm super interested in the potential underneath our Hollywood and hardcore porn cliche and concept around sex. I'm really, really into that. But at the same time, there is very little space, at least in some layers of fields, for romantic relationship. Nothing against love, of course. I mean, that's whole another story. It's not possible without love into every direction, and directionless love at the same time. But this romantic safety of two people with each other is thin air in some fields of that, because it's almost like sex is a killer.